Okay, I want to start with this. The state of things for third parties in our state of Minnesota, the state of play for third parties in our state of Minnesota, you gathering the 2,000 signatures, what the entire process has been like. Why is the Libertarian Party the only third party putting up a candidate this cycle?
So part of it was that a lot of us in the third parties kind of movement, behind the scenes, we talk to each other on a regular basis. We do a lot of coordinating. There's a lot of coalition building. There's a lot of overlap with things that are important to us, particularly with ballot access. In some states, you have ballot access. Minnesota, you don't. Other states have worse laws trying to get on the ballot, but we have the shortest window. We only have 14 days, 15 days to collect all the signatures. And there were conversations going on in the background where it was just like, hey, like if we run this race, we won't run this race, and so we intentionally did not try to compete with other third parties to get on a lot of races, not just this one, but there were others too.
Oh,
There is a little overlap, but you're going to see less this election cycle than you did in others because of that coordination.
Talk to me about why I, as a Minnesota voter, would consider caucusing with the Constitution Party or the Libertarian Party or one of these. You actually call it a third party movement, I think, or there was
Mhm.
some. And I didn't know that there was that kind of coordination. So talk to me as a voter and convince me to give up my addiction to the uniparty and come on over to where the people have honesty.
Sure. So that's actually kind of easy for me. Um, I see like when I look at this as a problem, the politics in the United States, our government has three branches, right? You have the executive branch, you have the legislative branch, and the judicial branch, right? The people that founded the government did that intentionally because if it was only ever two sides, they would just fight back and forth. You need that diversity within the system to keep it from just being in this like locked, just tug of war, basically. And so that's what third parties offer. When you have a third party candidate that's also on the ballot that is going to speak about things differently than your major party candidates are going to speak on, it forces the entire conversation to change. So I see the political party, the two party system as a whole, as not as being the problem, like the central problem to all of this, because there's never any conclusion. So by having the diversity on the ballot, by having other options, and not just other options that are there to be spoiler candidates, which a lot of us are perfectly fine with being that also, but that, you are allowing more voices to be heard and you're making the competition for that seat actually greater. You force people to be who they are, not just who they claim to be. So they're going to be less likely to get, by with lying, with the deception, with the corruption, with the fraud. You're going to have less of that by having a stiffer competition for those seats. And that's what we lack right now. Like I can go in to this race as a libertarian. I'm going to talk about things very, very differently. My motives are very different, because the likelihood of me winning is small. Although I do think that we're moving in the direction to where third party candidates are going to start seeing some success because people are so frustrated by the system. And it's not your older generations, but you talk to your younger kids that are, starting to like pay attention. They lived through the COVID years. They lived through all this. Now we're at war with Iran. They can't afford housing. They can't afford hardly anything. And they've seen the dollar been devalued just over the course of the last few years in particular. They're looking for different options. And so the political landscape in the next 20 years is going to be very, very different than what it is even currently. That's what I'm working towards. We're playing the long game. We're not looking for just a seat. We're keeping a movement alive. We're making sure that the people that come after us, that there is still a torch left to pass on, so that they, when in their time, they can take it and keep moving forward with it. That's what we're working towards right now.